Okay, so today we're going to dive into one of the most charming and honestly just wonderfully silly poems out there, Edward Lear's The Duck and the Kangaroo. Now, on the surface, it's classic nonsense poetry, right? But if you look a little closer, it's actually this really sweet story about friendship, some serious planning, and of course, the thrill of a huge adventure. So it all kicks off with this simple, almost kind of absurd question. I mean, you look at a duck and a kangaroo. You couldn't really find two creatures that are more different, and yet one of them has a massive favor to ask the other. So our story starts with a duck who's going through, well, let's call it a bit of an existential crisis. He just feels stuck. He's totally bored and dreaming of a life that's bigger than the one he knows. You can just feel the frustration in these lines, can't you? For the duck, his home isn't some cozy little sanctuary. Nope, it's a nasty pond, basically a prison that's keeping him from the big wide world he's desperate to see. And then he spots the kangaroo. And in the way the kangaroo hops, the duck sees everything he's missing. He sees freedom, he sees mobility, he sees a connection to that world beyond. The admiration is just pouring out of him. Right, so you take that deep admiration, you mix it with a serious case of boredom, and what do you get? Well, you get a duck with enough courage to make a proposal that is, let's be honest, completely out there. And there it is, the big ask. It's so direct, so earnest. He doesn't just ask, he pleads with him. You can tell he's already picturing this perfect partnership, his one and only way to finally escape that pond. Okay, what's so interesting here is just how ambitious this duck is. He's not thinking small, like a quick trip around the block. No way. He wants to go to these incredible made-up places like the D and the Jelly Boo-Lee. And he makes this simple promise, to be the perfect passenger. Just sit still and quack. That's it. So how does the kangaroo take this absolutely wild proposal? Well, instead of just laughing it off, he actually gives it some serious thought. He's a practical guy, very considerate. See? The kangaroo doesn't just say no. He says, let me think about this. He even mentions there might be some luck in it for him too. But, being the careful thinker he is, he immediately spots one potentially very big problem. And this right here, this is where you see the genius of Edward Lear's wordplay. I mean, come on, the problem isn't just about being uncomfortable. No, it's a real health concern. The kangaroo is worried about getting rheumatism, or as he calls it, and this is just perfect, the rheumatiz. It's such a great pun, right? It's hilarious, but it's also a totally valid point. Now you might be thinking, well, that's it. Dream's over for the duck. But this is where our little adventure proves he's not just some daydreamer. Oh no, he's a planner. This line is everything. The duck wasn't just sitting around wishing. He was actively problem-solving. He actually thought about the kangaroo's objection before he even asked the question. He's got a solution locked and loaded. And what we're seeing here is basically the heart of their whole partnership, a negotiation. You've got the kangaroo on one side with a totally valid fear, and on the other, the duck doesn't just ignore it. He shows up with this super thoughtful three-part plan. This is about way more than just a trip. It's about mutual respect. And the duck's solution is so specific, it's brilliant. First up, 4 pairs of wool socks that'll fit his webbed feet perfectly. Second, a warm cloak for extra coziness. And finally, a daily cigar, which, back then people thought helped keep things warm and dry. It's just an incredible amount of thoughtful prep work. And this is the real emotional core of the whole thing. The duck didn't just do all this to get what he wanted. He did it because he genuinely cares about his potential travel buddy. His actions are all coming from what he calls his dear true love of a kangaroo. So with the practical stuff solved and their friendship totally solid, there's nothing left to do but start the adventure. The kangaroo is completely on board. Yep, the kangaroo is totally convinced. He's all in. He just gives one last practical bit of advice. Sit steady. And with that simple command, their incredible, unlikely partnership is officially a go. And they're off. Just like that, with a hop and a bound, the dream is now a reality. The duck has finally left that nasty pond behind, and he's on the journey of a lifetime. And what a journey it turned out to be. This wasn't just a quick little trip to the D and the Jelly Boo-Lee. They were so good together, so happy, that they ended up hopping around the entire world not once, not twice, but 3 whole times. The poem wraps up with this beautiful rhetorical question. And the answer is obvious, right? Nobody. nobody in the world could possibly be happier than this perfectly matched, wonderfully weird pair.
So, when you get past the fun rhymes and the silly pictures, what's the real takeaway here? What's this whole journey really trying to tell us?
Well, I think the central message is this. A true partnership is about so much more than just sharing a dream. It's about respecting each other's needs, thinking ahead to solve problems, and finding those creative solutions together. Really, it's all about thoughtful compromise. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? The duck and the kangaroo prove that sometimes the most amazing, life-changing experiences come from the collaborations you'd least expect. So it makes you wonder, what seemingly impossible partnership might be out there, just waiting to help you hop around your world?